Hi class, welcome to TEM200. I'll be your instructor this semester, Dr. Cho, but you already know that. Anyway, I just want to take care of some business stuff. Your teams are posted on the discussion board. Now we're going to do something a little bit different. And that's that I want you to meet at least once during the semester as a team. And I want you to record it on Zoom, and then all you need to do is turn in the link to that Zoom video, and that counts as your discussion for that week. Only one person needs to turn it in. Now, if you want to do it twice, guess what? You get to skip one discussion. And otherwise, for the rest of them, it's just like discussions as usual. Just post on the board for it, and you get a grade for it. I'm not looking for War and Peace. Just write a couple sentences. What I'm looking for is, what is your answer and why do you think this is the right answer? Make some kind of justification. Now, one complaint I got last year when this class was taught online is some students said, I wish there was a rubric. Now, of course, I find this kind of amusing because this is a class that's supposed to get away from frameworks. And you want something rigid or something else. Well, to give you an idea of what you're being graded on is this generic rubric. And what it comes down to is about 10-15% of your grade is writing. Some of you, actually a lot of you, really don't know how to write. I'm sorry if that's offensive, but it really is true, because I get these submissions where, like, for example, you don't use paragraphs, and quite frankly, I don't know if you understand how to write in paragraphs. Every paragraph should be its own story, and all the stories link together to some kind of conclusion. Did you apply what you learned in the lecture? What a lot of students do is they just give their own opinion, and they don't use any of the techniques or don't demonstrate to me that they learned anything from the class. So that's about a quarter of your grade. 30% of your grade, and this is what I look for most. Does your answer make sense? You tell what it is and then justify it. And for example, I get students who say they're going out of business. They should just go out of business. They're not making enough money. Well, there's no depth. There's no rigor to it. And that's what I'm looking for. And that goes into the next part, is how thorough is your answer? I'm looking, does your answer make logical sense? And then do you support it? And there is a correct answer to a lot of these problems, but if you do a good job explaining what you're doing and giving it depth, then what it comes down to is if you come up with the wrong answer, you're still going to get like 98 or 99, something like that. Now, I don't like giving links. I really dislike it, because that shouldn't be the limitation. The answer should be the answer, not some kind of artificial metric. But in general, all of these assignments, you should be writing at least a page on answering it. I have students who would turn in one paragraph, they get dinged on the grade, and then they would get upset with me about it. And what it comes down to is they weren't thorough and they didn't justify it. This is the one thing that kind of rankled me about asking for a rubric. I have no problems giving you this rubric. What I do have a problem with is they put this on the student reviews after the course is over. I implore you, if there's something you don't like or something you don't understand, tell me now. Because if you tell me now, I can do something for you. When you tell me after the fact, it's like, well, gee, if I had known that, I would have done something. Or if nothing else, I could explain it to you. Why we do it this way. Like a big complaint I get in my other classes is they get quizzes, and on those quizzes, I'll curve it. I'll curve it to an average of 82. So if you do average on the exam, you get a B. And they complained that the quizzes, that the class average came out to 65, and they said it's ridiculously hard, it has nothing to do with what we're doing. And that's something I'm not willing to compromise on, for the simple reason, first of all, low class averages really test do you know this stuff. And so it creates separation. If you create a quiz to have an average of 90, first of all, people will underperform on a quiz. So in order to get everybody to a 90, you need to give them a quiz that is more like an average of closer to 100. And that doesn't test you, and it doesn't tell me anything about what you know. MIT, actually in chemical engineering, our class averages were like 32. Either you got it or didn't get it. It was brutal. And I also do something about what I call smell grading. And that's that I look at it, and after I grade you, actually you have a grader for this class, but after the grading is done, is take a step back and just say, how good a job is this? Is it an A job, which means it's outstanding? Is it a B job, which was good, or C, meaning average or less? And I always call a D a get out of my life grade, meaning you don't have much competency in what you did. And they give you a D, and so they pass you along just because they want to get rid of you. And really what they should be doing is flunking you, so you have to redo it and get it right. And so that's why I've never been a big fan of the D grade. I always try to avoid it when I can. Anyway, if you have any questions, let me know. And enjoy what little time we have together. Yeah, that's one thing I don't like about these half-semester online classes. There's just way too much material in this course for you to build up habits, but at least you're exposed to it. And my goal in every class is the one. And what I mean by is, if you think about your grade teachers, you don't remember very much about them, but you do remember the one or two things they taught you, which carry you through your life. And that's what I mean by the one. Anyway, have a good term.